Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me out there? Y'all can hear me? Y'all can hear me. She's just not listening. Okay. Oh, I didn't hear you. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to the Dayton Beach City Commission hybrid regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 23rd, and it is 7:03 p.m. Call the roll, please.
Mayor James,
Here.
Vice Mayor Salvino,
Here.
Commissioner Davis,
Here.
Commissioner Llewellyn,
Here.
Commissioner Udman,
Here.
City Manager Garcia,
Here.
City Attorney Boots.
Here. Thank you. Can you please bow your heads for a moment of silence? Thank you. And can you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome back. Do the same thing again. They must have heard us. First thing on the agenda will be an update on the city's investment portfolio by our public trust advisors. Let's welcome our finance director.
Good evening, everyone. A little low, huh? Okay. Good evening. Just want to take a brief moment tonight to bring you up to speed on the city's investments. I know that you've approved a few items the past few months. We selected a qualified investment advisor, Public Trust Advisors, and now we're at the phase where we're actually going to be investing the funds. And they've developed two portfolio strategies for the city. And John Grady, who's with Public Trust, is here tonight, and he just wants to introduce himself and the firm, and also just briefly go over the investment strategy and what they're going to do for the city with our relationship. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor James, members of the commission.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Give us 1 second. Can we have his mic raised a little bit? Oh, I meant the volume, but maybe that helps.
Good evening. Is this still kind of low? Okay. You want me to pause?
He's coming.
Okay.
Ralph the man is coming.
Good evening. Is this a little better? Great.
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you, Mayor James. Commissioners, my name is John Grady. I'm with Public Trust Advisors, and we were fortunate to be selected to serve you as your investment managers. And so tonight, I just wanted to take a few minutes to provide a little bit more of an update. Thank you, Mr. Paulo, for providing a bit of a background. Uh, as you can see from your presentation, I just have a few slides to bring us up to speed, and then I'll talk specifically about the two portfolios. Please offer any questions or your comments. But again, we're excited to get started with the city of Dania Beach, taking the investment program from really more of a passive daily liquidity strategy to a more fully diversified investment program that will seek to take advantage of some higher yields in this current environment, and again, further diversify your investment program. Just a couple of quick comments on Public Trust Advisors. We're, of course, an SEC registered investment advisor. We manage approximately $60 billion in fixed income assets nationwide, including around $9 billion here in the state of Florida. All of our clients are just like the city of Dania Beach, that is fixed income public entities. And of course, our primary goal is the safety of those funds. We recognize that they're taxpayer funds, also providing liquidity, and of course, seeking to obtain a competitive rate of return on those investments as you seek to invest those out on the curve. Your investment program will be supported by myself, of course, and I'm supported with a team of professionals, 8 of which are located here in Florida. and another 60 plus professionals in our Denver office where we're headquartered. But know that the team supporting this has more than 2 decades of experience supporting Florida public entities and these investment programs. And if we could move to the next slide, please. So as we implement your investment program, we just wanted to share a few thoughts on our partnership with you all. It's based on a client-focused, service-based approach. We've been working closely with the city already, as Mr. DiPaolo mentioned, with the approval of the investment policy during your July 12th commission meeting. We then established a third-party custody account. Custody account is where these investments will be held. And it's important to note that those investments are held in the city's name, and only authorized persons would be able to move those funds from your bank account to your custody account, and that's a great security feature. Following the custody account setup, we've also prepared a cash flow analysis, and then what that does is it helps us to determine how much of your funds you have available to move from your daily liquidity that is used to fund your short-term expenditures to invest a little bit longer out on the yield curve. And when we say longer, it's really medium term, 5 years or less. Our ongoing relationship with you all, with Mr. DiPaolo and the team, of course, involves a good amount of communication and reporting that includes investment reviews as well as market updates, and overall to provide support throughout the treasury function. So not just the treasury manager, but really a full suite of resources for you. And in addition to the investment management function, we'll provide customized reports. These are tailored investment portfolios that are based specifically on the City of Dania Beach's investment policy statement that was just approved. And of course, in addition to our reporting, we'll also be providing compliance reports for you as well to show you how you're invested and that those meet the guidelines of your policy and Florida state statutes. So on the next slide, just to give you an illustration of what that looks like while I'm here in our team that you will see more frequently, just know that there are a group of professionals that will support this engagement. So as you can see in this graphic here, that includes 2 primary portfolio managers who will be responsible for your day-to-day investment of the city's investment program. We have a team of independent credit researchers. We place a lot of value on that. The reason why I bring that up is our independent credit researchers determine which investments are appropriate for our fixed income investment portfolios, and then the portfolio managers can utilize those investments, but that separate function really provides an additional level of safety. I mentioned compliance. We also have the team of operations and accounting professionals that will support Mr. DiPaolo and his team for your reporting and reconciliation and verification, again, of compliance. And then, as I mentioned, from the investment advisory function, that's myself and the team that I'll work with you on to provide investment reviews, market updates, and so forth. So it's really a coordinated effort of a group of professionals in various functions. And that goal is to provide serve as an extension of staff for the city for your overall investment program. And then I will skip over slide 5 just to, in respect of your time, but just know in your packet you have a group that does show who those primary professionals are in those various functions. And so as we look to your investment strategies on slide 6, sorry, I'll jump ahead of that one. So in this first, if you look over to the left-hand side, you can see daily liquidity, and I've got a couple of little animations here. So if you don't mind advancing a couple, and you'll see a couple of these highlighted. Currently, the city utilizes primarily a daily liquidity investment program. You see that. So that provides, of course, daily liquidity, but historically, that strategy has also provided lower yield opportunities versus some longer strategies. Some very common strategies for public funds are 1 to 3 year and 1 to 5 year, and you can see those really looking from left to right. And really, so what that means is a 1 to 3 year portfolio has just shy of a 2-year average maturity structure, and a 1 to 5 year portfolio has around a 2.5 year maturity structure. And again, the benefit of utilizing these is it provides further diversification. The other thing to note on these 2 strategies, though, is that as yields move up and down and we go through these interest rate cycles, this is where these longer term portfolios can really protect you from an income perspective. So as we're in a rising interest rate environment, it allows you to reinvest at higher yields. But then when we do experience a decline in interest rates, these longer term portfolios will help protect the income component through those lower cycles by investing out in 2, 3, 4, and 5 years along the curve. And so that diversification, again, helps your overall program through both rising and declining interest rate environments. And so pause there for a moment, if you wouldn't mind advancing us to slide 7, and that will take us into the next 2 slides to just show you a bit of a highlight on the structure of these portfolios, and then I'll pause. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But know as we move forward to implement these particular portfolio strategies, we'll build these programs out, and then we will again provide updated reviews. We meet with Mr. DiPaolo, and we will certainly be available to present to you as well as frequently as you would like. This slide here on 7 shows us a few highlights of what a 1 to 3 year strategy would look like. And just as a reminder, again, these are all fixed income securities. That's by design. That's not only governed by your policy, but it's actually governed by Florida statutes. And what that means is when you're buying a fixed income security, while it might have some price volatility, unlike a stock, you could always hold that to maturity if you chose to and get that principal at par. Whereas a stock value is always fluctuating. It may go up to where you bought it, may go or may not. Where fixed income, you have that more of a stability approach. So that's by design for public funds. But you can see a well-diversified strategy is what we're proposing using U.S. Treasuries, U.S. agencies or GSEs. Those are referred to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Farm Credit, and the home loan banks. They don't have an explicit backing of the U.S. government, but they do have an implicit backing. But again, highly rated securities. We will utilize very highly rated corporate notes to a lesser extent, but that helps with diversification of your portfolio. And then, of course, we'll also look to utilize some municipal bonds as appropriate when those are issued. And utilizing these various investments within the fixed income universe, though, again, helps to provide some more diversification. For this 1 to 3 year portfolio, again, the target average maturity structure will be about 1.8 years. And one of the benefits of launching this type of investment program at this time, sometimes just very fortunate from the timing, is that we're actually in a yielding environment that we haven't experienced between 4 and over 10 years, depending on where we are on the curve. And so this is a time frame where we can build out this investment portfolio. And if we see that last bullet point on the bottom left, the estimated yield to maturity on this portfolio would be around 3.34%. And so again, versus where we were even 12 months ago in a zero interest rate environment, it is a nice time to be laddering out this investment portfolio for you and help to build that out. And then as we move forward, if rates move up, we'll certainly be able to take advantage of that. And if they do move down, which they will at some point in time in the future, this will help protect by investing out along the curve. So this 1 to 3 year strategy is called that because, as you can see by this chart on the bottom right, it utilizes maturities between 1 year and 3 years in this particular portfolio and tries to maintain that allocation by rebalancing each month and maintaining those assets within that 1 year space. The second portfolio we're recommending is, again, to help further diversify is a 1 to 5 year portfolio, and this is on slide 8. Very similar to the 1 to 3 year portfolio, although it uses a little bit longer duration and maturity structure. So this utilizes investments out between 3 and 5 years. So it complements that 1 to 3 year portfolio strategy, but adds a little bit more of a maturity structure to that. The target duration of this would move from 1.8 years from the 1 to 3 to about 2.5 years for this particular portfolio. So if we look at these two portfolios and keep those in mind, and then combine that with your liquidity program, again, the goal is to provide a good diversification for you and provide a good investment strategy in both a rising and declining interest rate environment, utilizing very safe, good investment structures. I know that was a lot in a few minutes. I wanted to be concise, but I'll pause now and certainly, hopefully, I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. You have any questions? You have a question, Commissioner Davis? Okay, go ahead.
You were still on the 1.3 when you were talking about the 1.5, so I just didn't get the major differences between both. I mean, I think I got the 1.3, but I didn't really get the 1.5. So if you could just kind of point out those significant differences, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner. I apologize for jumping ahead before the slide got there. If we look at slide 8, so the primary difference between the 1 to 3 on the prior slide and this 1 to 5 year is that you can look at those bars on the far right-hand side of that bottom chart, and really it's just utilizing maturities between 3 years and 5 years, whereas that 1 to 3 year uses 1 to 3 year securities. This one adds 3 to 5 year, really more of a diversification. Historically, this 1 to 5 year has provided a little bit higher return than the 1 to 3 year, but because it's longer maturity structure, it's a little more volatile as well. But that's why we want to find a balance, and I'll go back to that cash flow analysis that's so important, and we will update that for you all at least on an annual basis to ensure that you're maintaining sufficient funds for liquidity while you maintain the appropriate balances for higher income opportunities in these core portfolios as we call them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, it's
Thank you, Mayor James.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate the opportunity to partner with you in the city of Dania.
not a problem. Thank you. Next, we'll have a presentation by Alex. Is Alex there? Oh, you look different with your mask. Alex? Is he online? Hold on. I'm sorry. Alexis. I don't see him though. Oh, he's online. I was like, look, you look a little different.
A little
Can you
different.
hear?
Not a work event. I am at a work event. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
You taking time at your work event. We're at a work event too.
Awesome. Well, Madam Mayor, thank you, and commissioners, thank you for having me. My name is Alexis Guillen. I am a Dania Beach resident and also a member of the Green Advisory Board. I'd like to present this presentation regarding recycling contamination. Being a Green Advisory Board member, I'm very conscious about how we are with the environment, very supportive of our city's decision to be very eco-friendly, and just wanted to bring to light a situation that I think has a very realistic solution that we could apply with little pain to all. If you could please, the next slide. All right, so short-term rental properties are regularly using our recycling receptacles for common waste. On the block that I live, there's at least 6 different short-term rental homes between, a 2-block radius from where I live, and it's just something that I see on a very consistent basis on on my street. Wednesdays recycling day, and it's very common, as I'll show in a moment. But essentially what's happening is that these bins, our recycling bins, are being contaminated with waste that has no business being recycled. As in turn, this contaminated bin is creating additional costs and burden to waste management, which collects these receptacles every week and then essentially passes these expenses on to the city. The cost, according to Waste Management, to process contaminated materials can easily exceed over $150 per ton due to the increased association with collection, transfer, and processing of these materials. They also pose a risk to their employees because they're sitting there sorting through things that should not be present to begin with. The short-term rental sites like Airbnb do provide tips and guidelines for being a good environmental steward. However, these are being ignored by the renters and owners alike. Waste management sites, recycling contamination as a major contributor of increasing costs to the processing of these recyclables. In addition, Florida recently has acknowledged, it's expired. We had a 2020 recycling goal for 75% for the state. We fell very short of that back in 2020. We were at 50% when we should have been at 75%, and it's been falling back from there. This problem of not having strong recycling habits within the city is not just endemic of Dania Beach. We are seeing it in other cities, but I think that this is a local problem that we can address with local solutions. Next slide, please. So just wanted to provide some photos. So this was taken on my block on July 20th. It's an Airbnb home, and clearly guidelines aren't being followed. Here's a photo of the recycling receptacle filled with landscaping waste. Next slide, please. Now, a week later, looking at same bin now filled with styrofoam, waste, and landscaping cuttings. Next slide, please. Again, on the 12th of August, no way.
Hello? Okay, next slide. All right. I think I hope, Alexis, you okay? Alex? No, we're just gonna get through it because I don't know where he went. He's still, oh, all right. Are you guys from, no, nobody else knows about this? Okay. These are Airbnb tips for vacation, rental, and recycling. Next slide. Okay, this is the proposed solution. To remove recycling receptacles from the short-term rentals and replace with a second trash receptacle and enact a policy that improves the quality of our community recycling efforts. Do we have any discussion for this? I mean, I spoke to Alex. I call him Alex. I spoke to him maybe a month or so ago, and he said he would provide this to us. I hadn't seen this before now, but I do think that with those short-term rentals, one of the things that could benefit us would be to take the recycling out and put another regular garbage bin in. Anyone have any issues with that? Hold on one second. Let me let you. Go ahead.
I think there's a cost associated with having a second bin.
Oh, hi. Is there a cost, city manager, that you know of that's associated with that?
I'm not familiar, and I also wanted to find out, does that come from the resident? Do we send all the Airbnbs a letter and give them that opportunity rather than just go and switch it out without the permission?
Can we have the Green Advisory Board meet with you or your staff to see to come together with something more comprehensive
Yeah,
that
we can work
is
with-
tangible and we can know
we'll-
what the law
We'll
says?
review with them and go
Yeah.
from there.
All right, everyone okay with that? So if you want to speak, you have your thing. Okay, I'm going to get to that in a moment. You can bring it up though. Thank you, appreciate you. Great. Next slide. Okay, you can turn it off. We're gonna have them work with the Green Advisory Board because I don't know what is information. Thank you, Katia. I mean not Katia. Thank you, Monica. You can turn it off. Thank you. We're gonna move on. Third, we have a certificate of accommodation by our city manager.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City team, residents that are here and watching at home. It gives me great pleasure today to present the certificate of commendation. And I just wanted to give you a really brief synopsis of why we're presenting this certificate. In our culture of our city that we put together, that is called RISE. As you know, RISE represents respect, integrity, and a standard of excellence. This individual has been aligned with respect, integrity, and she has actually taken a standard of excellence to new heights. And we're very, very proud of it. Going above and beyond to prevent an accident, to prevent a tragedy, is something that we value. On the day of July the 10th, one of our beach rangers noticed that one of our visitors to our beach was backing out and hit another vehicle and caused a great deal of damage. She further noticed that this individual had a beer can in his hand and basically was driving erratically. Immediately, she called BSO. Sergeant Reyes immediately responded, came to the beach, took an ID of this individual, our employee was able to take a photo and write down the tag. To make a long story short, within a very short period of time, this individual was arrested, was taken off our streets, and we prevented what could have been an accident. And at this time, I really, on behalf of us, our city commission, and all our city team and our residents that are here, would like to present to our beach ranger, Alexandra Anaya, this certificate of commendation for going above and beyond the call of duty. And if we can have our mayor, our vice mayor, and our city commission come down to take a nice photo with you. Barbara, why don't you join us? Because Barbara oversees this great team of individuals, and I know how important this is to you.
Congratulations again. Next, we'll have this proclamation for Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. It reads, whereas the Dania Beach City Commission is firmly committed to raising awareness about suicide prevention in the city of Dania Beach and Broward County, and whereas the month of September is nationally recognized as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and whereas more than 40,000 Americans die by suicide each year. In Florida, a person dies by suicide every 2 hours on average. Suicides in Florida far outnumber homicides. And whereas suicide is a national epidemic, costing the lives of 6,000 veterans each year, and is a leading cause of death for first responders. Firearms are the leading method of suicide in Florida and the most lethal method. Access to gun triples the risk of death. And whereas the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Children's Hospital Association, and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry have declared a national emergency in child mental health. And whereas suicide is the second leading cause of death for children, adolescents, and young adults aged 10 to 24 years. And whereas it is critical to recognize the signs of depression that may lead to thoughts of suicide, including speaking about wanting to die, feelings of isolation or hopelessness, increased use of drugs or alcohol, and severe mood swings. And whereas it is critical to recognize the best methods of to prevent suicide when a person is in crisis. As the person is thinking of taking as if the person is thinking of taking their life, keep them safe and remove their access to lethal means such as poisons, prescription drugs, and firearms. Get them professional help. In Florida, dial 211 or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1 800 273 8255 or text 741 741. And whereas the League of Women Voters of Broward County has provided a significant leadership in suicide prevention through community education and creation of their Lock It Up gun safety program. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Tamara James, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim September 22nd as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in the City of Dania Beach and enthusiastically support the mission of Lock It Up and the League of Women Voters of Broward County Gun Safety Committee, as well as the Florida chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics, by encouraging safe storage of firearms and removal of their lethal means to prevent suicide. Is Julie Morale here? Hi.
Oh, Mayor James, Commission, thank you so much for recognizing this important month and bringing attention to suicide prevention awareness.
Can you go a little closer to the mic? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
As you've mentioned, it's really important if somebody's depressed to remove lethal means, medications, and guns from the home. And since the proclamation was written, we have a new number 988 for anyone that's depressed or having, in crisis. So that's a great thing. I have free gun locks to hand out if anybody would like them for their home, and bumper stickers that say it's easier to childproof your gun than to bulletproof your child.
Mm.
Kind of direct. But anyway, thank you on behalf of the Legal and Voters and the Florida chapter of American Pediatrics. Thank you so much for sponsoring this.
Thank you, Julie. Here you go. Thank you. Next, we'll have citizens' comments. If there is anyone online, please use your raise the hand tool that you have. If there's anyone in the audience that wishes to speak, please fill out a request to address form located right outside of this door, and please give it to our city clerk. First, we have Mary Jane. Is Mary Jane here? Okay. Don't see a Mary Jane. Mr. David Kaplan? Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes. Your timer will
David
be.
Kaplan, 111 Southeast 3rd, Unit 106, Dania Beach, Florida, 33004. Pleasure here to talk to you. I certainly love Dania. I'm glad to be here. I've been having some issues with the traffic that I want to get on, but the first thing I want to talk about there is the recycling. About the contamination is the thing for sure. The number one thing I really believe would be the easiest for them to do are more stickers. It took me quite a while going through the city before I could realize which bin was recycling and which bin was trash. The colors in other towns and counties are different, and the labels are all wore off, so you really can't tell. So I think that would really help. If you don't know what the bin's supposed to have, how do you know what to put in it? And when you're standing there, you're lost. The other thing I want to bring up is traffic. I've been talking to public services, trying to go to code enforcement, PEs, Mr. Denser and Mrs. Henderson. And there's some inadequate maintenance of traffic. They now call it temporary traffic control. But over here at the high rise on Dania, they've been out of compliance with their lane closure for years now. And their signs are inadequate, not enough. Something needs to be done with that. Same thing over on Sterling Road. As you're coming down from the Oakwood Plaza off of 95, there's an exit from Oakwood between McDonald's and the Taco Bell, and there's no advance warning at all before you get to the lane closure. Somebody needs to be looking at that. I've sent letters, and I hope you can redress it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I know that we have staff in the back writing those down, but I do want to ask about that lane closure by Taco Bell. I don't think I remember what was said the last time we asked about it. No, I'm asking. Well, who's, I asked the city manager, who's in charge of notifying us of what's going on with that? Because that has been closed for a very long time. And I think that's the last time they just hadn't picked it up or something.
I'm going to discuss that with public services to see if we can reach out to them. They've had it for a while there.
A long time, and it's a lane closure. And again, there is no signage; it just closes. And I drive that way every day, and I don't even see any work being done. So if we can open our roads back up, I think that'll ease traffic a little bit, along with the other other issues that Mr. Kaplan had.
We can find out since it's out of our jurisdiction. We don't want to go and remove it, but we'll find out what exactly is the plan and if they're complete with the project. Why hasn't that been removed?
Okay, thank you. Behind you is the Public Services Director. Raise your hand, Fernando. There he is. Nice, friendly Fernando. Any of those issues, you can feel free. Thank you. See how I did that? Next, we have the consent agenda. Do we have any pulls? I have 3, 7.5, 7.6, and 717. 7.5, 7.6, and 717. 7.17. Oh, sorry.
Move the consent agenda with the exception of 7.5, 7.6, and 717.
All in favor? Any opposed? 7.5.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, authorizing the city manager to waive formal bidding and to approve the utilization of services from Christmas Designers, Inc. under the City of Aventura contract number 19620-2 for furnishing and installing holiday decorations at a cost not to exceed $194,333 and to exceed the annual vendor total amount of $25,000, providing for conflicts and an effective date. This is public services.
Hi, thank you, Fernando. Is this an increase of what we did last year?
Yes, it is. We're going to almost double the number of light wraps on the poles because we've been able to extend more electricity to the posts in different major thoroughfares. But the main thing is, besides the poles, we're adding 4 medians that are going to have in the median itself lit decorations, fairly large 6-foot high structures by several feet wide in some of the mediums on Griffith. We're trying to bring electricity under the ground to those medians, and the next couple of years we'll do other phases to add more medians to put electricity in the medians. So that's why it's more expensive.
Okay, how far west does this go?
Well, actually, it's going to go into the 30s avenues, into the 31, 32nd Avenue.
What is the plan to get us completely out west? Because I know that was one of the things that we wanted to do. We wanted to phase it out and make sure our major thoroughfares of our entire city had Christmas decorations. So what I don't want to do is add. I love the idea of having stuff in the median. Let's start there. But I don't want to keep concentrating in one area without expanding more to the west and
We're going to add west, east, and throughout. It's going to be over 14 locations across different medians in all the major thoroughfares. We're starting in Griffith only because the directional boring permit that we got through FDOT got us into that schedule. But there's really no preference over one over the other. We're going to go all over the city and do 14 different medians.
okay. And before tonight or before last year, we didn't have decorations on Griffin at all,
We had them
or just not the
on
median.
the side. Yeah, not in the medians. No medians are decorations. Yeah,
They're back.
only the poles.
So okay, so are we getting better decorations for
Much
those
nicer,
poles?
much nicer. LED lights that are like in the Aventura area, like those. Beautiful, very bright, like a white light with the blue on top.
Okay. All right.
You
No,
would like them.
those are my questions. I mean, I see a large number. I want to make sure that I understand exactly what it's going to and how it's going to benefit the entire city because we often hear how the West Side is forgotten about. So I wanted to make sure that we're phasing that out to make sure that what we discussed that we're going further west.
We're starting actually on the west of I-95, so it's the beginning of the west side. West
Okay.
on Griffin.
The,
Yes.
the beginning of the west side.
Yeah. West
Okay.
of I-95. Yeah.
All right, Vice Mayor.
Make a motion pass.
All in favor? Any opposed? 7.6.
A resolution of the City Commission authorizing the use of contingency funds in an amount not to exceed $88,941.54 payable to Kilowatt Electric Company for the repair of lift station number 11 in an amount that will exceed the city's annual single vendor threshold of $25,000, providing for conflicts and effective date.
Thank you. I just had a question. Is this coming out of the commission's contingency funds or public safeties?
It's not coming from the commission's.
Okay, you're fine then.
This is a contingency for this project, Mayor.
Okay. No, I asked the questions. I mean, I didn't mind, but I saw all this other stuff wasn't coming out of our contingency. Go ahead, Commissioner Llewellyn.
7.6 for approval.
All in favor? Any opposed? 717.
A resolution of the City Commission authorizing a new neighborhood sign for the corner of Griffin Road and Southwest 24th Avenue conforming to the city's adopted design requirements, provided for conflicts and effective date.
Thank you. And I know Eleanor knows why she's here because a few of us have gotten some concerning emails about this. And I just wanted you to give us the facts and the details so that when we move forward with this, the entire public understands and knows why the decision was made.
Okay,
You want me to just describe the process and everything, what happened? Okay. So back in 2018, there was a rebranding initiative by the city. I think it was taken charge by the CRA, and they replaced all the neighborhood signs, the city signs throughout the city. When they got to this neighborhood specifically, they replaced the sign and the name was Broward Heights. It was an unauthorized name. The neighborhood did not approve of this name. So the city was asked to go back and survey the neighborhood and the businesses in that area to find a name that was suitable for them. We did public outreach. We surveyed the residents. We held open house meetings, and 80% of the respondents agreed that Dania Cove was an appropriate name. There's a neighboring park adjacent to this, and that's what they felt. So we sent out notices letting them know that this was the consensus, that it would be presented to the commission. We agree. We recommend approval of this name. And now we will finish the rebranding initiative and get that last sign fabricated and installed in this area.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure everyone had the explanation because there have been some questions and I know there was a process and I've been following it closely. So thank you. Oh, hold on one second. Okay. Do we have a motion?
17.
Vice Mayor motion and Commissioner Llewellyn second. All in favor?
All right.
Anyone opposed? All right. Now we're gonna go to our safety reports. I'm sorry, y'all. I think I'm still on vacation. Captain Marks.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Myself, the city manager, and Frank have been working diligently to come up with a plan to add additional deputies to our district. With your continued support, the additional deputies will be used for additional homeless outreach, quality of life issues, and a dedicated fraud detective for Dania Point, since the increase in calls and thefts and fraud cases at Dania Point have been going up. You hear me speak about the LPRs all the time that you authorize the purchase of. We currently have 5, and they're doing tremendous things for the city. We do have some countywide LETF funds, law enforcement trust fund money, that we've located, and we're going to use that to purchase 3 to 4 more additional LPR trailers. A lot of cities are switching to like full-blown LPRs, like everywhere on every pole, and it's helping us recover stolen vehicles and arrest wanted persons. As you know, we've been extremely busy. Our deputies have been doing a fantastic job. We had several deputy of the month cases this month and last month, anywhere from helping an animal to arresting a violent felon. I'd like to just go real quick over a couple of them. Sergeant Neil Dodge received Employee of the Month in June in reference to assisting Miami-Dade Police Department in capturing and detaining a suspect who nearly shot his wife to death and led law enforcement on a countywide chase. Deputy Marilyn Doster received Deputy of the Month in June as well. She was dispatched to Southwest 44th Street in reference to a Muscovy duck that appeared in distress. Deputy Doster transported the duck to the Wildlife Care Center to render further aid. The staff contacted Doster a few days later and informed her that the duck made a miraculous recovery. That same week, Deputy Doster was dispatched to Gulfstream Road, where she found 2 dogs tied up in distress and lacking food or water. She immediately sprang into action by calming both the animals down. She provided shade, food, and water, and waited with the dogs until animal control had arrived. Deputy Alvin Pollock received Deputy of the Month. While patrolling, he was flagged down by a citizen who informed him about a suspicious vehicle lurking around the parking lot at Dania Point. Deputy Pollock initiated a traffic stop, and upon receiving the suspect's identification, he learned that the woman was wanted for attempted murder in the city of Hollywood. Another recent one, Deputy Benson received Deputy of the Month in July. He was dispatched to the 3100 block of Griffin Road in reference to an armed robbery attempt, which had just occurred. Upon arrival, Benson located the male suspect who tried to elude him. He engaged in a brief foot pursuit in which the suspect discarded a firearm.
He gave the male clear verbal commands and was able to take him to the ground. The suspect physically resisted Benson's efforts. However, his determination resulted in the culprit safely being taken into custody. At this time, I'd like to read the Florida line of duty death in reference to our Miami-Dade brother just to the south of us. It is with a heavy heart and great sadness to announce that Officer Cesar Echeverry passed away on Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Officer Echeverry succumbed to gunshot wounds sustained Monday, August 15th, 2022, while chasing a robbery suspect near the intersection of Southwest 62nd Street and Northwest 7th Ave. A vehicle that had been involved in an armed robbery in Dania Beach earlier in the evening on August 15th, 2022, was observed driving in Miami-Dade and fled when officers attempted to stop it. Officers pursued the vehicle until it crashed. The driver exited the vehicle and fled on foot as Officer Echeverry and other officers pursued him on foot. The suspect opened fire, striking Officer Echeverry before he was killed by return fire. Officer Echeverry was transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries in the following evening. Officer Echeverry was a 5-year veteran of the Miami-Dade Police Department and was assigned to the Robbery Intervention Detail. His funeral is tomorrow, Wednesday, August 24th at 10 a.m. at Marlins Ballpark. We'll have quite the contingency representing down there. And next meeting, I'm going to go into some details about some of our upcoming fun events and stuff that the community will be able to get involved in and join with us. That completes my report.
Vice Mayor, did you want to speak or is that old?
You know what? I'll pass on. I had a couple of questions, but I'll wait till a different time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Chief Pelisar?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, and the great citizens of Dania Beach.
Good evening.
Between July 1st and 31st, our units ran 1,246, were dispatched with 1,246 total calls. We were extremely busy in July. That's all our units between Station 1 and Station 17, so that's our rescues and our engines. Of those calls, 160 of those calls were fire related, which are fire alarms, house fires, boat fires, and car fires. 1,246 of the other calls were all medical alarms. A lot of the calls that we got were sick person or unknown, and then we had over 135 vehicle accidents. So our units are busy. I want to, personally say thank you because I know you've you put together where we're going to be able to get the rescue truck coming here next year, and our men and women will be able to, respond more efficiently and get to the calls a little bit better than they are now. Right now, it's just a little bit overwhelming for them, but you know what? They don't stop. They signed up for this job and they love it, and that's why they're here. Our inspection division, out of 2,700 total properties, they've inspected 2,338 total properties, so they're at 85%. They'll be finished with 100% like they normally do for the last couple years running. They'll finish their quota for before September 30th, and that's what something that I take pride in because they're out there doing that every day, and they're also making sure that all the plans review with all construction and everything gets done. Our fire department, Broward Sheriff's Office, just completed, like I spoke to you before, we went through the CFAI accreditation, the Commission on Fire Accreditation. It's a 5-year accreditation. We went through it, and I honestly have to give credit to the men and women on the fire line because they're the ones that basically do all the work. We basically, as chiefs, I get to take the different inspectors come around and show them the things that we do. But the men and women on the line are the ones that are doing the job, making sure that the trucks are kept tip-top shape, making sure that all the logbooks get signed, making sure that everything that we get judged on is taken care of. And we were recommended for accreditation. Our fire chief, along with the contingency from BSO, went up to Colorado last week, and then they were awarded another 5-year accreditation. So it's a big deal for the agency, but it's even a bigger deal for our men and women who are out there doing the job. The city theme team, along with Linda, asked me to, help with something for September 11th. Dania Beach never had a September 11th celebration, so I'm working on putting something together, and I'll, give you the. I'm thinking September 12th because September 11th will be on the Sunday, but I'm gonna work on something to do something in front of the fire station. It'll be a first of its kind, and I hope all you guys can make it. I will make sure that I get you all the information and make something memorable that we can start a tradition every year from now on. And with that, that's my report. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I mean, I don't mind a Sunday if that's September the 11th. If we're gonna do it traditionally, just so that we don't change the date. Do you all mind the Sunday? Do
Okay.
you mind the Sunday? I mean, if you're taking in consideration us,
No, I just got to get the people to come in and play bagpipes and do it. So I want to make sure I want to get it done right. So I'm going to try if I can get the people aligned to come in and do it because September 11th is already going to be busy. Trying to get somebody to come in here and play the pipes or do something in front of the station might be hard for me. So that's what I'm working on. If I can get it done, I will. I promise you, I will.
okay,
You know
I'll
that.
help if you need.
Yeah, you
I'll
know
help
what,
find some people.
Mayor, if I may through you, I think that if we could do it, if we're gonna do it, like we discussed doing it. Um, Driving around sometimes in Miami-Dade County, I used to see the Miami-Dade County fire trucks, and there used to be this number behind it, 343. And I never knew what that 343 meant. So I was discussing it with the chief, and long story short, 343 is the amount of firefighters that died on September 11th. And I said to the chief, and I know I've spoken to you, you all go to other places to have an acknowledgement. And I said, why don't we do something here? So all 5 of the commission, they can come on Sunday, we can come. So if we can make it happen the actual day and do the moment of silence and what we're planning,
Okay.
let's
Very
roll. They can make it, so we
I
make it
can't say
happen.
no. The only answer I have is okay.
Yeah.
Get it done.
You ain't say okay to me. Smart man.
I
Smart
always
man.
say okay to you.
Thank you,
No,
chief.
All right.
Appreciate
thank
you.
you
Got it.
so much. I think that'll be very impactful. It's
Yes.
amazing. We it's long overdue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great idea.
All right. 8.1 bids and requests for proposals. A resolution authorizing the award of invitation to bid number 22-19 entitled Fire Rescue Station Number 1 Window Replacement to Juliana Enterprises, Inc. in an amount not to exceed 64. Let me start that over. $66,411.90, providing for conflicts and effective date. Do we have any issues with this?
Nope. Make a motion to pass item 8.1.
Anyone opposed? All right, it passes.
Thank you. We
8.2.
appreciate that.
A resolution approving the ranking of consultants that responded to the city's request for qualifications 22-023 entitled Professional Engineering Services for Citywide Stormwater Master Plan, and to authorize contract negotiations to begin with Chen Moore and Associates, Inc., providing for conflicts and effective date.
No problem. Make a motion to pass 8.2.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? 8.3. A resolution authorizing the award of invitation to bid number 22-22 Southwest 43rd Terrace Stormwater Improvements to Calais Corp. in an amount not to exceed $2,297,467.20, providing for conflicts and an effective date.
Make a motion to pass 8.3.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? 8.4. A resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds from various city departments for temporary employment services to be obtained from a pool of vendors in accordance with request for proposal 22-21, which may exceed an annual vendor total amount of $25,000, authorizing that all purchases be made within the respective departments' approved departmental budget appropriations, providing for conflicts and an effective date. Oh, second. Oh, I just have one question. Is this for temp agencies?
Yes.
Do we,
This is a pool of temp agencies to help us during that time.
Okay.
Where we can fill a position.
all right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
8.5, a resolution approving the ranking of qualified information technology consultant firms and authorizing the city administration to negotiate and execute an agreement with Avero Advisors LLC for IT master plan assessment and consulting services, providing for conflicts and effective date.
Make a motion pass 8.5.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I got my thing.
Okay.
Thank you. You have your what?
I just want to say something.
Your mic?
Okay, I'm just looking for your permission. I just want the public to know that we went through this and spent, as you can see, a couple of $1 million quickly. That's because we've already reviewed this in our strategic master plan and our budget. So we're just not spending the taxpayers' dollars without taking consideration. We've been through this and spent a lot of time on it already. We're very aware of what we're doing, and we're very proud of our public services and our other departments that are out there put this together for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
9.1,
An ordinance of the city commission approving the request made by Tracy Lautenschlager, agent for the property owner SPG Port 95-2 LLC, to rezone property located at 3410 Southwest 22nd Terrace, Dania Beach, Florida, changing the current zoning classification of the property from RM1 to IROM-AA, subject to certain restrictions, and amending the city's zoning map to reflect the rezoning of the parcel, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date. This is second reading.
Sorry. I just checked our IT support. She loaded the wrong presentation. We'll be getting it up in a minute. Good evening. Corinne LaJoy, Assistant Director in Community Development. This application is for for rezoning and site plan for this property that's located Southwest 26th Terrace. It is located east of the airport, and this is one of the lots that was taken with the airport expansion and released, and now is being developed on by the applicant. The you know what? Okay, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to proceed. So this is one of the parcels east of the airport. There are, I'm sorry, west of the airport. There are 4 other warehouse buildings in this vicinity. This is like going to be the 4th warehouse building, completing that industrial little complex there for the applicant. The land use is industrial. One of the parcels is residential. There used to be homes out there, which is why the airport and the Fort Lauderdale airport took those properties because it was incompatible with the runway. There's just been no need to rezone that property before now. There's been no development interest on it. It was owned by the county for many years, but now it's in private ownership. So they're asking to rezone that property to industrial so that they can proceed with this new warehouse development on the property. The site itself that needs to be rezoned is 0.22 acres. The property is currently vacant. I think I covered most of this. The zoning of the property, the residential piece is RM1. They're asking to rezone it to IROM AA, which is consistent with the zoning that's surrounding the property today. We do have rezoning criteria identified in the city's land development regulations. The applicant has addressed those criteria in the package, and that's in the staff report. Let's see, I think that concludes almost the rezoning discussion. The applicant, we have asked the applicant, as we do with all applicants, to do community outreach to notify neighbors of their request. They received no public comment or opposition to this project, so that hasn't been the issue. This project this project is also for a site plan, and it's going to have a new industrial building that's going to be similar to the buildings that are outside, that are adjacent and around the property. So it'll create this complex of 4 warehouse buildings. The warehouse itself, the office space will include about 10,000 square feet of office and about 41,000 square feet of warehouse space. They are providing the adequate landscaping and parking that's required for the site. The project did go through development review committee in March and in May, and there's some outstanding site plan comments that need to be addressed prior to the issuance of the building permit. They're included in the resolution. If it's approved, those will be conditions of approval. We've identified some goals from the strategic plan, identifying how this project is consistent with the strategic plan. And those include a couple points, one being having a more attractive and beautiful community in our neighborhoods and our activity centers. Two is to protect and enhance property values. And three is expanding business investment in Dania Beach. And we think this development project will be able to do those things.
Just the presentation, I think.
The presentation is up. Thank you, Monica. I apologize. If you can go to slide number 10, that gives you the rendering of the building so you can see what the site plan is going to look like. At least you can have a feel for what the building looks like. I asked for slide 10, the picture of the building. Do you have that?
There.
So
And
this
also,
is-
this is a quasi judicial between these two because it is for site specific. So everything you said was the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, that's right.
Anybody else who will be testifying on this matter, could you raise your hand, right hand? Seeing none. If they need to hear from you, I'll swear you in at that time.
Public hearings.
Okay. With
Since we're hearing that, let me just read in the second item so that they can take a vote. It's a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach approving the site plan for an industrial warehouse submitted by Tracy, agent for the property owner, SPG Port 95-2 LLC for the property located 3410 Southwest 26th Terrace, providing for conditions, conflicts, and an effective date. This was the item 9-2 as well.
Okay, so just to summarize, 9.1 is the rezoning for this property. It is second reading. It was previously heard by the commission and approved. And then 9.2 is for the site plan.
Right.
And staff's recommending approval of both items.
And are there any disclosures for the City Commission on either of these items?
I didn't meet with.
I don't remember.
Hold on one second. Commissioner Davis.
I had a meeting on yesterday. What is today? Yes, yesterday.
Today's the 23rd.
Yes. With the
But
property
I'm-
owner?
With
So-
who?
Who did you meet with? I met with the developer. And you can remain impartial on these two items? Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think I don't have any questions. I'm sorry. This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? I do see a hand raised. I'm going to recognize the cellular number that's on.
And I'll need to swear that person in.
Hi, 954-907. Are you on? Going once? All right. I need to swear in. All right. Do we have a motion?
0.1 and 9.2.
Yeah, I think you got the. Can we do them together, Tom? All right. All in favor? All right. Anyone opposed? All right. 9.3.
An ordinance amending Article 10 entitled Smoking Restrictions in Public Parks of Chapter 17 of the City's Code of Ordinances entitled Offenses Miscellaneous and creating Section 17-30 entitled Smoking and Vaping Prohibited in Public Parks and Beach within 25 feet of a public entrance or exit of a business located within the city's boundaries, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date. This is second reading, and this is an item sponsored by both Commissioner Llewellyn and Commissioner Odman. You need to be aware that there is one update to the provisions based upon the state law action. Originally, I did not include that there is an exemption from our prohibition of smoking in the parks for cigars. It didn't make any sense to me that why would cigars be exempt? But the state legislature, in its wisdom, has exempted our ability to prohibit smoking
from cigars. So that is now included in the ordinance. To be clear, any smoking in the park, the only way it could happen is if you're in your parking space in your car. Otherwise, it is prohibited from smoking in any of our parks or the beach. Additionally, there's an exemption. You can smoke within 25 feet of a public entrance of a cigar bar kind of thing. Otherwise, it is prohibited in front of the entrance or exit from any public establishment within the city's jurisdiction.
Thank you. Commissioner Ottman?
Is it the cigar itself, or does it matter what's inside the
It
cigar?
has to be a cigar and then not a
A tobacco
cigarillo.
cigar?
Yes, a tobacco cigar.
What other kind of cigar are you referring to, Commissioner Ottman?
A marijuana cigar.
I've never.
And
Okay.
just to be clear, it can't even be one with a filter on it. It has to be an unfiltered cigar. If it has a filter on it, it can be prohibited. And all vaping devices are prohibited.
All right, thank you for the clarification. I just wanted clarification.
All
All
right.
right, thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor, are you trying to move it along? Because we have other questions. Go ahead. I'm just saying, if so, let me get to Commissioner Davis and then I'll go back to you.
Whatever you want. You're the boss.
Okay, thank you. Please hold. Commissioner Davis?
I just wanted to, Eve, to clarify there's like a 25-foot space. It's not that it can't be there at all. So I just wanted to be clear about how far the smoking would have to be from the beach.
The 25-foot distance is from a business establishment, the entrance or exit.
Okay.
So, in other words, if you are at Dania Point, and you're in front of, let's say, Banana Republic or something, you can't smoke right in front of the door. You have to be 25 feet away from the entrance. As far as the park or the beach, the only place where you could smoke is in your parking space in your car with your window down if you want.
Okay. I wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
And that's actually by state law. It's not me creating that.
Okay. All right. Vice Mayor?
It's gonna be a tough law to enforce. I can't imagine somebody on the beach and our beach rangers went up there and tell them to put the cigarette out or whatever. I mean, that's the case everywhere you go? Are there gonna be smoking sections of any type, or are we gonna, is it gonna be, designated smoking sections?
We haven't proposed that, so I guess we'd have to create.
I mean,
smoking sections.
I'm just looking at the reality of, I mean, you're talking about, you got 100 people on 4th of July, 1,000 people on 4th of July, and you're gonna go up there and tell them they can't smoke. I can
I
just see
know
what's
that-
gonna happen.
I know that they're preparing new no smoking signs. If we have a problem, we can always come back to you and recommend a smoking designated area.
I would say, well, we can pass this item, and I think we need to put on the next agenda, or the next two agendas, or down three, whatever you want to do. We need to put smoking areas, or we're gonna have problems. I can tell you.
We'll work with staff and come back with you.
Because if you
for an ordinance.
start regulating no smoking in all that area, you're gonna have some hostile people down there, and it's gonna create a bigger problem for us. I'm telling you. I mean, I don't smoke, but I'm just letting you know how I think people are gonna think.
But just in the beach or
I think every, I mean, you're talking about walking out of Banana Republic and you walk out of Dania Point, you're 10 feet on the sidewalk. That means you're gonna have to walk to the middle of the road to smoke a cigarette. And I mean, and the people aren't gonna walk, once they walk out of there, or they have to walk somewhere, they have to walk to a designated zone to have a cigarette. Or you're gonna tell them you're gonna make them walk out of the whole shopping center.
if I may, I'd like to discuss that with the team at Dania Point to see what is a best practice. What are they doing?
I do know that for a fact that when I visit a particular restaurant down there,
Right.
they make them walk out of the restaurant, outside the barrier, onto the sidewalk.
Okay.
And but the sidewalk is still within 10 feet, okay? But it's on the other side of the sidewalk. It's out of the people that are sitting outside in a way the best you can. They don't let them smoke in that area, but if you're going to go by your rules of 25 feet, they're going to go stand in the landscape in the middle of the road.
And to be clear, that's state law. That's not me creating the 25 feet.
Right.
Well, that's us creating an ordinance though in our city to follow state laws, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well,
In other words, I couldn't make it 10. I'm not allowed to.
I understand. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'm not happy with that because I'm looking at I'm opposed to the smoking part of it because I don't like to smoke. But I think we're going to create our sheriff's department and our security departments to be in confrontations over cigarettes. I'm just telling you right now. That's my opinion. You know, people have sit there, they're gonna sit there with the vapors, are gonna be hanging down like this, vaping in their places, and you know, we're biting a big bullet here. Go ahead, we can do whatever you want. We can call the vote.
Okay, hold on one second. Commissioner Davis.
I just think the law is the law. We have to do what it is. So, just move forward. I was gonna go one to a whole thing, but we can move forward.
Okay, I would like to eventually, because I don't want to get either our beach rangers, code enforcement officers, or our BSOs into confrontations. Maybe we can explore some designated smoking areas for those who want to partake in that. Not around our parks and stuff, but if it is feasible. If not, I do think we should follow the law, because it's annoying to, if you don't have that habit, or you don't practice smoking cigarettes, and you have someone right next to you smoking a cigarette, and you have your children there next to you. And so I get it. We have to work on discretion, maybe, and some sensitivity training, and definitely training with our code enforcement officers to know how to deal with certain situations, when to back off of things and let law enforcement deal with it, or kind of pick our battles. And so that falls on you, city manager.
Yeah,
Have fun with
we,
that.
we will look at designated areas, particularly at the beach. I think at Dania Point and in public and in private places, I think we leave that to the private places. You know,
Yes.
I don't want to cross that. You know, I want to focus on our public places that are the
Yes.
responsibility of the city.
Right. Okay.
Thank
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? Commissioner Llewellyn.
I was just gonna say, as a business owner, I enforce that now. Where if people are too close to the doors, because it's uncomfortable for other customers. So, you need to, private business owners are gonna have to do that themselves, and if they're not doing it already. So, that's all.
Okay.
I'll move the item also for approval.
Second. All in favor? Anyone opposed? All right. 9.4.
An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 2 entitled Administration, Article 3 entitled Supplemental Code Enforcement Procedures, Code Enforcement Citation Program at Section 2-58, which section is currently reserved to create the city's schedule of code enforcement fines, civil penalties, providing for codification, conflicts, severability, and an effective date. This is second reading, community development.
All right. This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? We have any questions for Corinne?
Make a motion to 9.5.
It was seconded by Commissioner Llewellyn. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 9.5.
A resolution of the City Commission approving the site plan, variances, and design exceptions submitted by Bahia Development LLC for property located at 2401 Southwest 31st Street in Dania Beach, providing for conditions, conflicts, and an effective date. Corinne, you're still sworn in.
Okay. Good evening again. I think we had like a delay, a lag, and I was going too fast. And we never caught up with the last presentation, but we're up and running on this one. So this is for a variance, a site plan variances and design exemptions, I believe, for this project. We can go to the next slide. There's an aerial photo of the location of the property. It's very close to Interstate 595. It is in the industrial IROM zoning district, as you can see. Next slide, please. The property is an industrial. It has industrial land use designation and zoning. And it's about 1.5 acres in size. It's currently vacant today. The next slide. The site plan is for the construction of 36,000 square foot industrial building. It's designed for cold storage services, and that's important because the equipment kind of dictates the form and the function of the building itself, which is why we ended up with so many variances and design exemptions, because it's a smaller site and it's really trying to make everything fit. Let's see, so there's an office component, refrigerated corridors, coolers, as well as warehouse space proposed as part of this building. The building itself would be 53 feet tall. It would be a 2-story building. There are adequate parking spaces being provided. They are asking for 3 variances and design variations to accommodate the proposed structure. We've received no objections as a result of our public hearing notices. If we can go to the next slide, you can see the site plan and the layout of the site itself. So the parking's in the front of the building. Yeah, the parking and the loading areas are in the front of the building. And then the building itself that's on the north end of the property, which is really to the right of the screen. The next slide shows the floor plan, which is really not very interesting, except that it shows all the coolers. And so that really dictates, the function and the layout of the building itself. The next slide. They are proposing an interesting exterior elevation. They're calling it a wrap. I believe it's adding visual interest. It does exceed. I think we have a limit on 3 colors, so they're asking for a design exemption for the colors because there's more than that here. The next slide is a graphic illustrating the variances and design variation requests. So the first variance is to allow overnight fleet parking. It's just a use that's not permitted in this zoning district. Number 2, the second variance is to reduce the side and rear setbacks. What they're providing is 20 and 18. What's required is 28. The third variance is to reduce the landscape frontage to 20%. The code requires 32%. The design variation here is listed as the front door visibility from the roadway. I know that they have their loading docks that are on the front of the building, but really that's a function of the site being as small and as tight as it is. The next slide, please. Staff has reviewed the variance requests against the criteria that are identified in the land development regulations, along with the applicant's justification statement for those criteria. And we find that they meet the criteria identified in the land development code. Staff is supporting of these variances requests and that the urban infill projects for this type really requires flexibility. It's a smaller site, it is infill, it's industrial surrounding it. I think to the front yard is basically Interstate 595. So that's type of environment. So some of these setbacks may not be as necessary as they would be in other locations. The site, next slide, Monica, please. This project did go through the development review committee in February and again in June, and they have some outstanding DRC comments, but they are included in the resolution. If that's approved, they will be conditions of the resolution that they will have to address prior to the issuance of the building permit. We also reviewed the proposal against the city's strategic plan, and we found that it meets 4 or 3 of the different goals that are identified in that plan. One is having more attractive, beautiful communities for our entrances, corridors, and districts. 2 is a protection and enhancement of property values, and 3 is expanding business and investment in the city. And I'm sorry, next slide. And one more slide, please. So staff's recommendation is we're recommending approval of the resolution granting the site plan variances, design exemption, providing the DRC comments are made approval prior to the issuance of the building permit. That concludes staff's presentation. I'm available if you have any questions. I believe the applicant is here as well if you have any questions for them.
Thank you. This is the public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? Go ahead, say it again. You say it again, Vice Mayor?
Who?
Say it again, Vice Mayor.
I make a motion we pass 9.5.
Commissioner Davis?
Thank you. I did have a disclosure that I met with Christina, and I can remain impartial, but I just wanted to clarify that we did have some room and flexibility for the design of the wrap, and then we would work together in order to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you for the disclosure. And I believe the Vice Mayor had a disclosure as well. Anyone else? And you both can remain impartial, correct? Thank you.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. All in favor? Anyone opposed? 9.6.
This item is to be continued, but it is a resolution approving the waiver of free plat request submitted by the property owner, the city of Dania Beach, for the property generally located 100 Northwest 8th Avenue, providing for conflict severability and effective date.
Why is this being continued? This is pushing the project back further.
We were able to move quickly enough to get it scheduled on the agenda, but there's a couple pieces, exhibits to the resolution that are missing, so we need a little bit more time to do that. We're actually going to be moving forward. We're kind of not letting this delay us. This request was only to have asked the commission to waive the replatting requirement. We're proceeding to Planning and Zoning Board with the vacation request. And then it'll follow to the city commission. We'll get the waiver request before you as soon as possible. And hopefully we'll get the vacation settled. And then I am waiting for the site plan to come through and we'll get moving on that as soon as it comes in.
Why are we in this position, or why wasn't it done, I guess, when CW was built the first time? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I know I've been here for a while, and I know that when they were making improvements, like 10, 15 years ago, it I was it was discussed. I knew that the right of way was there, but it was never an issue, so they never needed to vacate it. I think the reason we're vacating it now is because there's going to be a building placed in that area, so now it necessitates the vacation.
okay, as long as this doesn't put this project into 2023 and then,
Oh, I'm not slowing it down. It's not me. No, we're moving it forward as fast as we can.
okay, because it's y'all department, it's on y'all. This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? Eric, are you here to tell us that we can break ground tomorrow? No? Okay. All right, hold on. I think, okay. Okay, we have a motion to continue in a second.
I'm sorry, to what date? Because the continuance is to a date.
The
So
next
is it to the
commission
next meeting?
meeting.
Next meeting is September 14th, a Wednesday, so that
So-
meeting date.
Thank you.
Yes.
We have a motion in a second. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Great. Discussion and possible action. Can we set a date for the decorative sidewalk ribbon cutting? But it's gonna take a while. Vice Mayor is suggesting that we do it like 30 minutes before, so that 4:30 on the day that we have the CRA workshop. So we have, no, don't say y'all. Yes, your Vice Mayor said that.
Joyce doesn't like that because she likes to hang out.
Okay, we all right. All right.
Mayor, I just want to let you know that we're not going to stop traffic for a very long time. This is just a ribbon cutting to snap a photo, and that's it. I mean, I would dedicate, we meet there, in 5 minutes, we're done. This,
Y'all want to do it at 9 o'clock in the morning?
you should do it after the school are done, like at least 9:30, because there's still like speed zones and all that. But yeah, you want to do it, you don't want to do it during any busy time.
You have any restrictions, Commissioner Ottman? Hold on one second. Let me put you on. I mean, as far as the time first, at 9:30.
Yeah, it depends on, completely depends on the day.
What days is okay? Are okay for?
While you're thinking
Tuesdays and
about that,
Thursdays are better for me.
yeah, because in my manager's report, you're going to be also picking dates for the groundbreaking for the Dania Beach Grill. So maybe you could go from the groundbreaking at the grill to Fifth Avenue. Just let you know that I have several other ones to calendar. I mean, that's a good problem to have.
Y'all want to do a weekend date?
If you could do Thursday, September the 8th, I can combine it with the Dania Beach Grill groundbreaking, and we can go from the grill groundbreaking. Oh, okay. Not the 8th, but Thursday.
What about the following week?
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, can we do the 10th? Can we do the 10th, like in the morning? It's a Saturday, but it's the 10th in the morning, like Everyone's available. I would prefer to do. Some okay, what's your 10 say? Okay, so you're in town. So
You want to do it before Dania after dark?
I don't want to be at the beach at that time of day with all those people.
Oh, no, no,
so-
wait, no. Are you guys talking about the Fifth Avenue? Because remember, the Dania Beach Grill, we're coordinating with the new owners. So are you?
Oh, so we don't have the Dane Beach Grill dates.
We do. That's September the 7th, which is a Wednesday, September the 8th, which is a Thursday, and September the 13th, which is a Tuesday.
So they just gonna give us dates?
No, we're giving you dates. You guys pick the times. And if these are not good, then I have to go back with other dates.
The 13th, I'm okay with at 9 in the morning. Is anyone else okay with it at 9 in the morning?
Tuesday the 13th?
Times on those days.
I said 9 in the morning.
I know you did. but she
Okay.
didn't.
Okay.
Tuesday the 13th?
I can't do 9 in the morning.
What time in the morning can you do?
Can you do like noon, 11?
I can't do 11.
Yeah, it'd have to be later for me.
Okay.
4?
Can you do 4 o'clock on the 13th, everyone?
Yes.
Well, we have a commission meeting that night, so unless
No,
we
but
have a
not on the
CRA
13th.
meeting that night
No,
as
not
well.
on the 13th. We don't.
Oh, on the 14th we do.
Yeah, no, 13th we don't. We're clear.
Okay. So
Is that
13th,
Is that a holiday?
It's a Tuesday. No, it's not a holiday. We couldn't do it because of the school, because of the county. A school board.
okay. 13th at 6 o'clock. Everyone okay?
Yep.
Okay, September the 13th at 6 o'clock.
Maxine is back there writing it all down. You know, she's going to be binging our phones all these dates at 5 a.m.
That's going to be for the Dania Beach Grill.
We need to do both.
Let's do the grill and the butter and the crosswalk the same day.
Absolutely.
I'll
Let's
send
do
you
the
guys the
crosswalk
details.
first because I think that would be the easiest one, and then go to the grill.
Yes.
That's still rush hour.
No, but
But it's right down Dayton Beach Boulevard.
yeah, it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick.
Every day is rush hour on US 1. Every hour.
But I'm saying for Fifth Avenue, if you're gonna stop traffic.
Hey, we're gonna start traffic for 2 minutes. I promise you.
So we'll
Ribbon.
do the ceremony on the side of the road, and then we'll take a picture on the road.
Yes.
And we'll be done. Everybody
Hallelujah.
okay?
Yes.
All right.
All right, Mayor. So 6 p.m. September the 13th, Tuesday, for the Fifth Avenue, and then from there we proceed.
6:30 would be
6:30 at
beach.
Dania Beach Grill.
Absolutely. Everybody all right?
And Maxine, you got that? Thank you.
Maxine. All right, awesome. And then the Broward County Pioneer nomination. City manager?
Yes, Maxine has actually been taking the lead role. We got a letter from the Broward County Historic Preservation Board. Maxine, you want to give us an update? I know she's been working with our own historic board, and we do have some nominations by the Dana Beach Historical Society. And with that, I'll turn it over to Maxine.
Yes, Maxine, City Manager's Office. Yes, as the manager said, we have been working with the Historical Society, and cities do this in collaboration with their Historical Society for nominations. And the Historical Society has given us a list, which is in your backup, and we're just asking you to approve, or if you have suggestions, if you different from these, that's fine too. The event is October 15th, and we do have the Historical Society if you have any questions about their nominations.
Anyone have any questions about any of the nominations? Or
Yes.
everyone's good? Oh, Commissioner Llewellyn?
They're competent to make that decision.
All right, nope. Go be great. Hi. Please state your name and address for the record.
Joanna Gwinnett, 450 Southeast 7th Street, number 1. I'd just like to say thank you for the Historical Society. Is very, they welcomed the opportunity to work with the city and Maxine for sure. And we look forward to many other opportunities. And the nominations for the Pioneers was unanimous, and we hope that you agree with our nominations.
Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you so much. Commissioner comments. Hold fast. Commissioner Davis?
All right, I'll try to make this brief here, but we have been on a little break, and I kicked it off by going to a conference for the National League of Cities in Nashville, which was I wasn't ready for Nashville, but Nashville was ready for me. Nashville, I had no idea. It was just a wonderful, wonderful conference. It's good to um, network and get different ideas from colleagues from all across the country. And we had amazing conferences and workshops we learned about, and I'll get with the manager with about this. There's $2.75 billion in grants for Wi-Fi. They gave us contact names I'm sorry, contact name and information for the direct people that we would need to speak to in order to start these things. And they want to work with different cities. They want to work with all of us. So those conferences that we go to really are very, very beneficial. I want to give a special thank you to the Lions Club of Dania Beach for coming out to City Hall, working with Maxine and myself and some of the teenagers in the community to pack up 300 backpacks. We thought we were going to be here for hours and hours. I think Maxine scheduled us from 10 to 4 and we were done by 11. So when you have people who work together and come together for the greater good, that just spills over, and that spilled over into our back to school event. And I really want to thank our city manager, administration, Candido, especially the entire team who did everything in their power to reach out to their networks, who reached out to human resources and Linda. And we got, ice cream from Jackson's. We had books from Beam Fur. We had face painting. We just had a wonderful, wonderful community time. And I think and I want to mention when Bill Harris, who got water bottles. We got reamed out, I think, for the last Earth Day because we had plastic, but now we've gotten box water bottles. Everything that we're doing together to improve the environment, to improve our community, to keep Dania Beach pristine. So I just want to thank the entire team for coming out. The kids were so happy, and to me, that's the greatest gift when the community comes together and seeing the families and getting the kids prepared for back to school. So thank you, everybody who was involved. Thank you, Mayor, for coming out. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioner Llewellyn, for attending. And I know the Vice Mayor was out of town, so I just want to thank everybody for coming out because it was really a special event. And I also want to thank the Marine Life Center, the loggerheads. They did a wonderful underwater beach cleanup. They cleaned the pier. They're going to give us a short report to show how much trash that we collected, not only in the days coming before the beach cleanup, but then after the beach cleanup. So we're going to have specific numbers to show how we are making a difference in our environment and our beach. And what else? Florida League of Cities. We had a Florida League of Cities event with all of our constituents from Florida. The connections that I made in Nashville came down to Florida, so that was wonderful. I am very proud of Dania Beach. I'm proud of our city manager and our mayor for doing such an exceptional job as panelists, showing how city manager and commission or elected officials relationships can be contentious, but also at the end of the day, how we as Dania Beach are an example for other cities in the fact that we are able to come together, understand our different roles, and still be able to move our city forward. So great job to our team on that. And then I celebrated, I know some of us were at Dania After Dark, and I was at the 100th anniversary for the Florida League of Cities. Again, just another phenomenal event with 100 years. I'm so excited that we have the first Cuban American president for the Florida League of Cities in its 100-year history. So that was huge. Congratulations to Jolene Carballo for her presidency of the Florida League of Cities. And with that, I will be quiet. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes, I'm going to be very brief. Just the Florida League of Cities, I do commend the city manager and mayor for doing an excellent job on the panel, and it was nice that we were able, most of us were able to attend that particular panel session as well. So it was a nice showing to show the support for our team overall. In addition to that, I wanted to say a quick thank you to those who attended. We had the memorial tree planting for my mother over at Dania Cove Park. And I want to thank Public Services for the work they did. Anna, you're disrupting them. Okay. But anyway, so Public Works came out and Parks, I believe, came out and did a really nice job making the park even more beautiful than it is. I know there were a few people that came, including Commissioner Davis, and pretty much everybody who was there was amazed because they had no idea the park even existed. It's a beautiful little park, and it's just a lovely part of our city, and it's perfect for my mother's tree to be right where it is, as I explained that day. So I'm not going to get into it again, but it was a very lovely ceremony, and it's just a reminder to everybody that we do have a memorial tree program, and our team worked very hard to make it very special. If you want to have a tree planted on behalf of somebody else, and I also just want to say thank you to everybody out there who I keep sending these emails. We all do. We get these emails from residents and businesses and whatnot about issues that are coming up, and I know, like, at least for me, I know there are times I'm annoying all of you with these emails and like just in text and whatever and saying please address this. I usually preface it by on Monday because it's usually on the weekend. And but I just want to say thank you to the whole team who's been helping and addressing these issues quickly, very quickly, and mostly to the satisfaction of the people who are making the requests. Sometimes you can't make people happy, and we know that. But thank you for that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ottman?
Gosh, I got nothing, but it's really good to see everyone back from vacation, and that is it. Y'all look the same. All right. That's all.
Y'all look the same.
I'm going to get you your cigar you want. Vice Mayor?
Oh, God, help us all. Anyhow, yes. Okay. Well, the vacation, I enjoyed it a lot. Coming off of the vacation, I will tell you that I did take a vacation, a real one. I went to the St. Thomas Virgin Islands for 4 days, and I had a blast. And you've never been there before. It's quite unique. So I had a good 4 days there. But when I came back, I did my duty at the Florida League of Cities with Commissioner Davis, and I both attended the ethics training. So we got that out of the way. So we're ethical now. And that was a 4-hour class sitting there listening to how to do things. So we know how to do that. The highlight, though, honestly, from the Florida Leagues of Cities, and they brought it up, but the highlight for me there was when the mayor and the city manager were up there. I felt like we had a panel of there was 3 sets of city commissioners. I mean, 3 sets of, well, city managers and the mayors. And if you were up there and it was like a game show, these two blew out the other cities. The other cities followed by our example. I was very proud, very, very proud of you two. And you guys just led the pack, and they didn't know what else to say. They were like lost, and it was very obvious. So I tell you, stopping choice, make me laugh. Anyhow, Commissioner Davis, excuse me. It's tough sitting up here with 4 women. Let me tell you, I'm done. Thank you.
You're up here with 6.
6, 7.
Before I start my comments, I'd like to call up the Historical Society. They wanted to be introduced. The new board wanted to Oh, they said no, they're not coming up. Okay, Joanna. That was your idea, huh?
Yeah, I
Because
know.
they said they didn't sign up for that. They're like, we gotta get up. I got our seats. Listen, you guys are here before 9 o'clock. That is amazing. Okay.
That's amazing.
Trying to get out before.
Yeah, William has a thought.
Um, okay, first I'd like to introduce Terrell McCombs. We nominated Terrell as the pioneer of Dania Beach 2022.
Hi, Terrell. Well, congratulations.
We also nominated Linda Wilson for the award, one of the awards.
Hi, Linda. She needs no introduction. All right, watch your step. Okay.
Linda has been instrumental for the society, and also Emmanuel George. He couldn't make it here tonight, but again, we nominated him as well for an award, for actually 2 awards.
All right, Emmanuel.
And now for the people behind it, we have the board. We have Treasurer Daniel Perez,
Daniel.
Director Kathy
Hello.
Seminara. I didn't want to say it because I might get it wrong. So Seminara. And then we have Deborah Settles, Director. Holly. Now you have 2 names. So Holly Jones, who is our secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you so much for letting me
All
like
right.
introduce
Thank
this
you.
event.
Thank you so much. Please hold.
The October 15th is the pioneer date.
All right.
Yeah. So
Thank
we will
you.
be there. We will be getting the invitations, and hopefully you will too.
All right. Thank you. All right. So yes, I had fun with the city manager at the League of Cities for that panel, being 2 competitors, and just we knew we were going to be better than other cities, and so we knew that. But we made a great team up there, and I want to thank my colleagues for coming out to support it. It really showed. I called you all my amen corner, but it really showed the strength in what we have and how we support each other despite, whatever our priorities are, if they might be different or not. So that really meant a lot, and I appreciate that. Other than that, I didn't go on vacation. I worked and worked, but I'm glad we all are back and handling business and, and understanding that we're making a lot of important decisions that will change the future of our city, infrastructure wise, business wise, and program wise. And congratulations to all of the candidates that won tonight for the election. Yes, it's over. I think Donna Corn may have won by a hair. Commissioner Beam Fur is reelected. We now have, I think, another commissioner, Hazel Rogers from Lauderdale Lakes. She won. Um, so go look at the results. I already took a sneak peek of it. Our own resident, Pastor Wiggins, he was so fortunate. So we have Mr. Velez, that school board member, just and we have Governor Charlie Crist. That'll be our governor now. Um, I'm sorry. The governor for the primaries still has to run in the local election. So, and then I believe we have Hillary Cassell who won as well. Who else y'all remember?
Lauren Book.
Lauren Book won. She won over Barbara Sharif. Del Holness did not win. Um, I don't remember, but I looked at all of the whole list. So just congrats. And Gunderson didn't win it either. No. So congratulations to all the candidates. We look forward to serving you all. I'm going to get with Maxine so she can write a congratulatory little card from all of us, if you all would like. It's definitely going to say my name, but I just think that it's always a good taste to. I was very welcome when I was first newly elected with so many. I was like, why don't we do that? So now that we have Maxine, we can do that. And those will, I'm trying to get out of here before 9. So, yep, those complete my comments. Why do you have an appointment, Vice Mayor?
Because somebody quit. So I'll make the appointment real quick, all right?
All right.
On the, guys are picking on me again. On the, what board was it? I got the-
Educational Advisory
yeah,
Board.
anyhow, I'm tilting you, Commissioner Davis. You and I are gonna go at it.
You've been going at it.
Anyhow, Tom, you gave me a suggestion, and it's in these papers here that Commissioner
Tom,
Davis.
do you
threw
know
on the
who it
floor.
is?
It's Anne Marie Williams.
Yes.
Ornstein.
Okay, I got it here now. Yes, that would be fine. I would like to remove Liliana. I said Liliana Garda. She's moved out of the area, off of the Educational Advisory Board, and I'd like permission to put Anne Marie Williams Ornstein on.
That's a name for you. Do we have a motion in a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. City Manager reports?
Yes, I just want to let you know that included in your agendas that we started that this month, you will have the hearing agenda reports of all the pending cases in court. I discussed this with you, Vice Mayor. Sometimes you guys send me a photo or a resident sends a photo, and this way you know these 4 pages are action. The process of code is working, and this is what is coming forward in our special magistrate hearing. So you all are aware. So you will have that every month. If a resident calls you, you know exactly what's going on, the address, and that's in the process. So very quickly, I wanted to let you know that our community development block grant, the CDBG, was approved for 177,000 plus for solar lighting, and we're moving forward with this project, and it's aligned with our citywide lighting master plan that was adopted in 2020 to make our city safer. We're switching out the ballast, the lights, the hardware, and it's going to be a brighter, more beautiful city. So we're very excited about that. The $1 million investment of our pier from our pier fund is on schedule. By mid-September, all the south side railings will be completed. So a large part of the area of the pier that is currently closed for safety purposes will be reopened. Right now, we have Dinser over there because we just had a report that the lights were tripped.
Recording
so
in
that's why I had to go
progress.
over there. So Dinser's over there. We are working with a contractor to mitigate the inconvenience to our pier visitors while still ensuring the maximum safety. As you know, the demolition and the clearing of the former Dania Beach Grill has been completed, and we have an official date of September the 13th at 6:30 p.m. So, you know, I know how important this is, not just to our mayor, vice mayor, and our city commission, but to all the residents. Please come and join us September the 13th at 6:30 at our beach campus. In addition to the one-on-one meetings with all the city commissions, thank you so much for making yourselves available to meet with us for our budget. We also have our scheduled budget workshop, August the 30th at 4 p.m., and that is next week. We are planning a very, very exciting, historical, groundbreaking at CW Thomas Park. This is part of your approved $45 million Parks Master Plan and the 18 million that's going to move forward for CW Thomas Park and totally change that area, that neighborhood, and our community. So October the 12th is the date that we have. We're bringing a lot of things over, and we'll work around your schedule. So we just need a time, anytime on October the 12th that you guys are available. Wednesday. It's a Wednesday, October the 12th. This is for the groundbreaking ceremony of CW Thomas Park. Whatever time you give me.
10 o'clock in the morning.
I'm okay. I'm okay with late afternoon, but if whatever works best, I can do 10 in the morning. I can do late afternoon.
I've been taking all the afternoon because of everybody else. I know, just let you know, I like sometimes on those days I like to do something.
It'd be great to be able to have the kids and family and parents come after work and everything.
Whatever. I'm good.
But I'll work around whatever schedule you all give me.
I'm losing out.
This is a big deal.
5:30?
This is a big deal. 5:30, I'll get you
Mr.
out of there.
Allen, 5:30?
5:30 to 6:30? Yeah, bring the kids.
Up, it's rush hour. Okay, 5:30.
We're good, Director Brown? Yes, 5:30. Because we want to incorporate the kids and everything. We got something special. 5:30 then, Max, will you send us all a calendar invite for October the 12th? Thank you so much. Thursday the 13th, we have the mayor's State of the City address, and we're really excited about this. We're taking what we're doing to new heights. No longer the old way of doing things, but very exciting because we get to promote our city. Got to thank Maxine and Bill Harris and the rest of the folks that are working with us, Eleanor, that are part of this committee, that are really doing a very good job. Eric Brown, Katia. So again, we're very excited about the State of the City address, 5 p.m. reception, followed by the 6 p.m. Commencement of the program. The West Wing, another great project. Thanks to you and your support, we didn't have to spend $13 million to build a new city hall. We are seizing the West Wing, 2,500 square feet, and we couldn't have done it without the 5 of you that are here. So we wanted to do that Tuesday, the 25th of October. We don't have a CRA meeting, so we'd like to do it before the meeting, with the commission meeting. So if that's good for everybody to get here a little bit earlier, we'd love to do that ribbon cutting.
5:30 is the time.
5:30.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you're good to go?
Say you're coming.
You're coming, 5:30. Okay, on Saturday, the 22nd of October at noon, we'll be hosting an employee appreciation picnic. We are working with our vice mayor and our picnic committee. We're also working with Commissioner Davis and another committee for December hosting of another League of Cities event. So I can't say enough about our team, all the different department directors. You see the backup here. We're just moving the city forward, and we're doing it really in a very special way. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Before I continue, I know you have something, but I forgot my notes from Maxine. I know she's gonna be so mad at me. I am asking for monies from my contingency funds, 790 of it to for the summer camp for the kids that didn't have funding, and I asked Eric to come back with that money. Is there any problems with that? All right. $500 for it was an ad sponsorship. We sponsored an ad. We were on a long break, and I wasn't able to ask you all privately, have them poll you. So $500 for that ad sponsorship for the Hollywood Hills Class Club of 1972 50th celebration. Any issues with that? No. And then Evelyn Williams, who turned 107 just recently on August the 2nd, I am asking permission to give her the key to the city. Although she will not be able to come here, I would like us to probably go there and give it to her. Are there any issues with that? Okay, well, we'll work with the date. I mean, August 2nd is passed and we were on vacation. So right, is that good, Maxine? Did I do well? She's over looking. All right, and Vice Mayor.
Okay, hi. One of the things I was going to ask the chief, there's no need to ask him because I'll ask you. You know, when we start talking about bringing in the other deputies, and then we start using BSO money, whether it's for the safer grant, a fire truck, whatever. I'm not necessarily the fire department, but I know that Danny was pushed a lot with all the crime that's been going on. Things are picking up, especially in Dania Point. There is a lot of action over there. Obviously, things going on. We get called to the same problem a lot. Isn't there such a thing as a nuisance abatement that we used to have that we could be charging these people certain places? I mean, the offset, because we're spending the taxpayers' money going back and forth and back for the same place. If they can't control their tenants, we need to put in some form of an ordinance or whatever to start giving them a bill, so we can offset some of this funding that we're paying these deputies to do. That we have to hire more to resolve the problem that he said he's being pushed.
this is what we're doing, Vice Mayor, Mayor Commission, so you know, approximately 6 months ago, we started to send the general manager of Daniel Point the calls for service log. They have upped their budget in excess of $1 million, but I'm gonna work with Eve to see what what we could do to have them either sponsor some of these police officers um, or work with the city um, to ensure that we're not taking boots off the ground in our city to go constantly
But that's
go. Now, what, for example, what we recommend is for the businesses to do, for example, what Brandsmark does. Several businesses actually contract with us or have
I see that.
security. And I think it's the responsibility of those businesses to invest in the security of their property and things like that. So that's something that Eve and I are going to be discussing with them personally.
The other thing is, I didn't know whether it was any interest to commission or the staff or anything. Did you get the invite to go to the AFL-CIO at the Diplomat for their Broward County Labor Ball? I mean, don't. Okay, I don't know how I got it, but I got it. Okay, and I didn't know whether the city would like to pay for some of us to go to represent our city there, or anything of sort. I don't know if we're even allowed to do it that way. I'll pass it down to you. You can take a look. Um,
You guys from your contingency can definitely go to any of these things that you all are invited to
Okay.
as part of your duties.
Okay.
So if you all agree to that,
Well,
that's something.
it's September the 3rd. Can I ask permission that if anybody would like to go, get with them later and then just send the application and we can get like later?
Absolutely. As long as you all as
But
a
I'd like
group are good to pay with that from.
But
to
what
pay from
about
your-
in the city staff or city management that might also want to represent them, go there as well?
What
we
I can
pay- do
do
we pay-
is I could get that to Linda, and then Linda can send it, for example, to the president of our union, or send it to see.
All right.
it's
I'll
just how
talk to
this
the,
works
I mean,
out,
she's out of town. I already mentioned to her. I
Yeah.
haven't asked the three girls yet, but if they want to go, then we'll go. We'll see what happens. Okay.
yeah. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much
Okay,
for your
thank you.
permission.
All right.
That's it for me. Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt your time.
No,
Thank you.
you're good, city attorney.
I'm gonna keep this short. I just wanted to let you know that if you recall, we're trying to do the annexation at at the beach. The hearing before the county it's on consent for the 25th of this month, so 2 days from now. And there doesn't appear to be any issues, but they're going forward with their resolution to support our annexation of that small area. And the hearing for Hollywood is on the 31st. They sent us an email yesterday saying it's still scheduled for the 31st, but they don't have the agenda item ready yet. So I'm still, I'll keep you posted on that. I will be attending the Hollywood one. And finally, I know I sent an email on this, but I'm very proud of it. So I figured I'd let you know. The 1,000 Mermaids, we got our first check, $10,000 back from them, and they're going to be doing a payment plan with me for the remainder. It was 40 something thousand, yeah.
The city of Hollywood can really just cut us the check. Who we need to talk to? I'm just joking. I'm just joking, city of Hollywood.
And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
City clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Upcoming meetings, Tuesday, August 30th, as the city manager mentioned, at 4 p.m. is the city commission budget workshop. And now after the CRA meeting tonight, Tuesday, September 6th at 5 p.m. is the CRA budget workshop. Wednesday, September 14th at 5:30 p.m. is the CRA board meeting, followed by your regular city commission meeting at 7 p.m. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. It's 9 o'clock. Meeting adjourned.